Please allow me to welcome on stage James Clarke, who is the CEO of JPL. James, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lucas.
James, you are in a unique position that you started off working in the building space, and you recently decided to start a charger company, a charger manufacturer company. Tell us a bit about that motivation.
Well, the motivation is that because the regulations is coming into effect this year and the regulations that come at the end of the year, we decided to have a totally new, completely new, fresh look at it, from looking at the available market, which is substantial. So it's a forced market, and what can we do that's slightly different? What can we look from the paint side? So we've looked from the installer side first to try and deal with the pains that the installer can have and give a completely different experience, and then effectively the user side of things. So our approach was quite different. We looked at what's on the market first, and then we forgot that. So the people who are helping me on the design side of this product, I wanted them to start with a completely clean white piece of paper and start from fresh. So it's quite a different concept. It is to my left. It's on the little pillar that we've actually put up on my left-hand side, if anyone wants to have a little look at what our concept is all about.
Wonderful. And I understand that that product will be launching later on this year. What we find really fascinating with you and your company is that sort of you have all the building regulations sort of in mind, and sort of due to these regulations, you actually saw a big opportunity sort of starting that charger business. Could you tell us a bit about both the building regulations as well as the opportunity that you see?
This is the bit I'm going to read to you because I'm probably going to get this wrong otherwise. So let me simplify it. The building regulations I'm talking to is Part S, that effectively, as Joe said, came into effect 15th of June 2022. What this really means is any new build or renovation, commercial or residential, where parking spaces are provided, needs to have access to or include an EV charger. Properties must have a minimum number of EV chargers that equal the number of parking spaces that have access to chargers equal the number of dwellings, whatever it is, the lower. Any build that starts after the 15th of June 2023, this year, is also caught up in that policy. Let's sort of put some numbers behind that for everybody. So I'm quoting at the moment from the Department of Levelling 2021, which is a government document. In 2021, we can go back further, we had approximately 334,000 applications on new builds. Last year was slightly down. We made 280,000 applications last year. Let's say we're hovering around about the 300,000 units. On top of that, you've also got extensions. So you can argue numbers comfortably getting towards 500,000 units a year. 500,000 units a year, let's just keep the maths really simple, and let's say the average cost of an install at the moment, including cabling, the unit, let's call it £1,000. You're now looking at a bit of a forced industry that's getting something close to £500 million a year. And that's a brand new industry that we're looking at. That's before you start talking about other reasons to buy EV chargers, car purchases, second-hand car purchases, etc., etc. So the size of the market that we're now looking at is a brand new market that's really coming into effect right now, has got to be interesting. And that's why I think speed of install comes into effect, and looking at trying to make the install experience easier, less expensive for them as well in certain things that we try to do, and to try and make the user experience as easy as possible.
I think that's where we're very much aligned, your company and EV Energy, with this sort of aim to make the installation experience as simple as possible. And while you were quoting these numbers, I saw some sort of audience members, especially those sort of involved in building chargers, nodding, because it's such an exciting moment in time for us at the moment, where we're sort of living through the transition from the residential charging into the more commercial charging. As sort of the electric vehicle adoption comes into the big cities, we suddenly are faced with a whole new set of problems, which is what triggered us at EV Energy to sort of build out Pando and sort of build out a solution for that. So yeah, very excited to see your charger being launched.
Thank you.
later this year.